A very warm welcome to our the Raw Mind Talk. My name is Gardner, and in studio today we have AMIYA ADUBANGO. She's the current Guild President of Vieana College, and she has taken us through her life journey from 9 years. Now we are equivalent of O level, which is our senior 4, that is year 11 at Vieana High School. So you are at Vieana. You have had Bernice, who was the second guild president. She got you encouraged, she got you pumped up, and you're like, I think I can do it. Now, an opportunity opens, right? But before that opportunity opens, you are going to sit your senior 4. You tell us, initially, your PLE was not the best. You get to Vieana, you didn't perform very well at P7, you got 8, and you expected the worst to be 6. Now, it's time. How were you prepared? How did you do it? What was your expectations? What was your vision by then?
I looked at the end of year 11. I looked at those IGCSE finals as a sort of redemption. So the preparation and all the days and months leading up to it was my sort of redemption arc. So I knew I had to make the most out of everything I was doing. So I found a way to just tune into my goal. My goal was to pass year 11, regardless of how many finals I had done in the past and what I got then. And I always speak of my PLE experience. It wasn't the best,
Yes.
but I always speak on it as some sort of life lesson and as one of my biggest motivations to keep going till today, because it shows that, a minor setback can lead to a major comeback.
Yeah.
So basically, in everything that I'd do, I'd recall how disappointed I was, and I knew that this is my redemption, so I have to make sure it doesn't happen again. But the responsibility is all in my hands. The ball is in my court.
Yes.
So I have to find a way to get it in the hoop. So I learned to just basically to tune in, be disciplined, read my books, and just cut off all distractions and focus on the main goal. So at this point, despite it not being the easiest, I did 10 subjects. And 10 subjects was a lot, because one subject would be calling my name, and then the 9 others also need attention. So it was something that really pulled me apart. It was like such a trial. It was one of the biggest trials I've ever faced, but I knew that in the end, if I had worked hard, then God had to repay me for all the hard work that I had put in. So one of my friends taught me that, because I did finish year 11 and the exams went really smoothly, which was something I was grateful for, because even along the way I stumbled a few times. Some of the exams wouldn't be the easiest, and I'd like to use economics, which is the one I succeeded in the most, as my example of what it means to stumble. In my mocks, which was the final paper I did, I scored a D, which is about a 57. And it was very ironic, because there was someone that was really good at economics, and very effortlessly. So I'd be getting A's, B's, worst case scenario. So this time, this is immediately before the final, like a few weeks and whatnot, and I happened to get a D in the mocks. So I was very, very discouraged, and I mean very discouraged. I lost all my confidence, because now I'm remembering everything I've been through with underperforming PLE, and now I'm stumbling at such extent before the final. And I remember I was really discouraged, but one of the greatest things that make the biggest achievers is who you surround yourself with. I did have a good support system. So my mom, every time I would feel discouraged because of a paper, I'd go to dorm and I'd call my mom, and she'd give me advice, and she'd tell me that, mocks are meant to mock you. They're not going to be the easiest, but that shouldn't discourage you, and like, I'm really grateful for my mom and all the encouragement she gives me. Besides that, even the friends in school that you surround yourself with. I did have a cousin who was my classmate as well, and he sat me down and told me that, you're such an intelligent individual, and you can't let just the smallest thing
distract you,
pull you back from what you're capable of doing. So never be discouraged whatsoever. Keep being you, keep putting in all the effort. One day it's going to pay off. And this is something that I think I'll bring on later in my conversation. They call it, I quote, deferred gratification. Yeah. And the ability to know that the trials I'm facing now, as long as I work hard and endure and navigate through all of them, eventually, I'm not sure how soon or how later, but eventually it will all pay off. So despite getting a D in my mocks, I was sad and discouraged, but with the support system I had, I was able to get back on track. And in the final, looking back at another aspect I previously talked about, role models. Before me, there happened to be someone who had set a record before me. It was a 95 in economics.
Before
How
long was that?
This was in 2022.
2020.
And mine was 2 years later.
2 years later.
Yeah. So in 2022, there was a boy called Joel in Saba. And Joel sat that IGCSE final, economics, and he got 95. And at that time, it was also the highest in sub-Saharan Africa.
But he was a boy.
He was a boy.
95.
So I recall going into the paper of economics, going into the final, and I was rethinking to myself in my head that, oh, someone has done this paper before and they got 95. That's so impressive. Imagine being able to do that. So this is me questioning, would you be able to do that, Rihanna? And yeah, I just trusted in myself. And despite how bad the mock result was, I sat that paper and I came out and I was like, this is genuinely the best paper I've ever done in my whole life. I actually did go and talk to the economics teacher and I told him this was such a good paper, probably the best I've ever done. So, minor setback, major comeback. Sure. And I was experiencing this firsthand. So, to see the results that I saw, first of all, I came in third because they rank you according to how well you did in the final. So overall ranking, I came in third. And I came in third, but I had an academic, third position at Vieana. Okay. And I came in third, but I had an academic record set, and that was a 97. And it did shock me, and I was truly shocked, and I still didn't know how to process all of it.
Wait, that was a 97 in economics?
Yeah.
So you broke the record of the boy 2 years back who had gotten 95. Now you come with 97.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kept recalling how I would think to myself on the way to the paper. Someone sat this paper and got 95. And now I sat the paper and I got 97. It was probably the craziest thing that I've ever experienced in my whole life. And to this day, I still even suffer with comprehending how I did that.
Happens.
Yeah. Wow. I'm grateful for the opportunity because this alone paved the way for so much greatness, and I didn't see any of it coming, which is why I like to think back and talk about deferred gratification, because all the hard work I put in, all the discipline, all the tuning into my goal and prioritizing the right things, all of it eventually paid off sooner or later without me expecting it. And what's even better is the ripple effect that this success had is even greater than what I could ever imagine. Yeah, and it's just from that point of passing year 11 through the ability to just zone in and tune into your goal and make sure that you cut off all distractions, just that.
But the way you're talking about it, like it is something so easy. Yes, I understand, because now you know the surprise you're waiting for. When I asked her what is the most, for her, that was it. But there's something she has not told you. You weren't just the best in Vienna. Grow it bigger, because that is what it is.
Yeah, so upon them announcing my results, they started off by saying I got 97, which was kind of a shocker because I was like, wait, 97? That's not usual. But they didn't really tell me immediately how high or how much of an achievement that 97 was. After some minutes, the teacher called me to the side and told me, oh, this was the highest mark in sub-Saharan Africa. And I was like, oh. And I had
it's not only Vienna, it's not only Uganda, it's not only East Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. Yes.
So the headmaster's there as well, and he whispers to me, go and find your parents, you're going to get an award. And I was truly shocked, like I didn't expect any of it. So this is the subject that I got a D in the mocks. And now this is them telling me that I got a 97, which was the highest in sub-Saharan Africa, simultaneously being the highest that any economic student has ever achieved in a final
I want you to
at
add the word
IGCSE.
ever achieved, because
Ever achieved.
wow.
So setting that
Wow.
record, I was given the Chris Kasami Memorial Economics Award, and that is an award that was set by one of the board of directors of Vieana College, Chris Kasami. Unfortunately, he passed, but he was an economist, a great one, because I've looked him up. One of Ugana's great economists, and due to his love for economics, he put out a grand prize of 1 million Uganda shillings for the best economics student. And surprisingly, this award had been a bit dormant, but like when this achievement that I set came out, the school kind of brought it back to life.
Yeah.
And I was offered this award as well as a cash prize of 1 million Uganda shillings. And this is also something that I link back to deferred gratification, because I may have not mentioned this, but as a child, when we completed P7, they always used to give 1 million shillings to someone who scored aggregate 4. Whoever scored aggregate 4 would get 1 million Uganda shillings as a prize.
From home or from the school?
From the school.
From the school.
Yeah. And I told you how I was top of the class majority of the time. So this is something that I always saw myself ready to receive.
So 1 million was your daily bread.
Yeah, like it was something that I was dying to receive at the end of primary, and like the fact that I didn't get it.
Yes.
And I was also someone that loves to receive awards, so I just never got a trophy, at least for like academics. So to see myself finally receive this at the point when I least expected it was possibly one of the biggest blessings, and it's one of the things I'm most grateful for till today, because now I got the trophy I've always wanted. I got the POE, but later set an academic record that's probably much bigger than what I could have achieved at that stage. So I was just thinking back to it being just a really, really minor setback for the biggest and most possible comeback ever. So yes, that's my experience with finishing year 11 and gaining the craziest thing I've ever done in my life, which is the economics award.
Right. Yes. A craziest thing. Now, she talked about deferred gratification. I'll take you back. I'm a Christian, and I picked some of my life principles and morals from the Bible. If you go back and read the story of the biblical Joseph, it actually falls into deferred gratification. You know, God appears to him and shows him that he's going to be a king. He tells his family members, tells his brothers, and all they saw was mockery. They're like, how can you be a king? Us kneeling. So they had to sell him off. Those are setbacks. They had to sell him off. He had to go and work for Potiphar. He was imprisoned. Little did they know that his failures were actually building him to become who he was. More or less of what AMIYA went through. Her setback at P7 was not just a setback. It was molding her to think big. Her setback in mock, as the mother said, it was just mocking her. But it wasn't just mocking her. It was molding her. It's like how gold has to go through fire to become pure. And for her, failure was never accepted, because she has shared with us 1 million. She had always been the best. And when she sat actually that exam, she went and told the teacher, you know what, this is the best ever. And it wasn't just words. She proved that it was the best. So as you're watching, you might have setbacks. You might have challenges. You may have detours. But the point is, are you able to look at them as stepping stones towards that vision, that goal that you want to have in life? I don't know, but this is what I pick from her. So tell us now, let's go to your leadership as the guild leader. Now, you've excelled, you're recognized, you have awakened the 1 million award. Now, tell us, time comes, they want a guild president. You're already seen somebody called Banis, who had become the second. And for you, I think you always go to break the records. Like when you see something, you want to either be like or be better.
Yeah.
That's what I get from you. So how did you go through that?
So, first of all, after Bernice came another male guild president. So Bernice had graduated and left. So the guild president before me was a male. And when I went back for A level, I got I was applauded. Like basically I was called out in front of the whole school and thanked for my hard work and my econ record. So now everyone knew me for basically having that record and setting it and winning the 1 million and all that. Like, 1 million is something really big to children.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
when
It
someone
is even
says
to adults.
when someone says that a child has won it, everyone's eyes turn onto them.
Yeah.
So I could see that I now had all this new attention from the younger generation and from my peers and from the staff, from all parts of the school. I had this attention right at the beginning of A level. So the cabinet before me, the guild cabinet, which is basically the students' council, was now getting ready to transfer power to a new cabinet. And I told you how I now sought leadership, let's say in church. So in the Catholic Church, there was a committee that would be responsible for running how the masses would go, organizing the students and everything, basically encouraging people to go to church and for it to run smoothly. So for me to now start participating in that, this was something I joined in A level. And the head of that committee happened to be the guild president as well. So he actually had a conversation with me about how he was so uncertain about the future cabinet and who he would be handing over his power to. And now people knew me now for this econ achievement. And I told him, oh, I was actually thinking about it because I didn't really know other people who were running for guild presidency. But I was like, I was thinking about it because now one achievement makes you hungry for more.
Yeah.
And ironically, I can say I never thought about standing for guild presidency. And I told you that my past experience with how intimidating running for writers prefect was in primary, I never ran again in primary. So even throughout high school, I just had this mentality that, I'm not going to run again. But towards the end of year 11, I thought about running for prefectship, but not guild presidency. Something much smaller. Let's say there's this post called Health and Welfare Minister. So it's lower than guild president, but on a cabinet. So it's something that I wanted to run for. And now this was before the econ achievement and all my results coming out. Before all of that, that's where my head was at. So upon my results coming out and everyone now knowing me for something so good, you could see that now people trust you, because the trust that people put in someone who is academically inclined, it's out of this world. Yeah, people really trust you, and you can see that. So I now had a lot of time on my hands because I no longer had finals biting my neck every second, and I had a lot of time, so I decided to invest it in different ways of helping around at school. All the responsibilities that the previous cabinets had were now coming to us, and I look around and I ask myself again, if you don't do it, who will do it for you? And this is also something that would motivate me, because I could see now that so many people trusted me and so many people looked up to me. So this is what was now motivating me to even think about going for guild presidency, because I didn't really see anyone else that would be standing for it, and let's say they would handle it better than I would, because now I'm starting to learn more about myself. I'm starting to become more responsible. I've achieved so many things, and this is what's making me even trust myself to ever get a hold of such a position. So with that, ironically, people would also come tell me, I think you should stand for guild president. I'd be like, really? And obviously, now thinking back to my role model, Bernice, and how she stood and how she won. Bernice was also really smart, was something that people would trust her. Another reason why people would trust her as well. So the fact that people could already trust me and I could see this, and I'd already gained a lot of attention from different parts of the school, because let's say even the staff members vote, be it teaching staff or non-teaching, from the kitchen or the cleaning, everyone.
Diverse.
Everyone votes.
Within the school votes.
Exactly. And now they all knew me, and it was for such a good reason. So I was like, why not? Because there really was such an upper hand for me. being the fact that everyone now knows me for something good, and the fact that I was responsible, and disciplined in everything that I'll do, and that's the image that I put out for myself, influencing the students to be better, encouraging people to read so that they may also beat my record. I always go around giving people and sharing with them the resources I used when I was in year 11 and giving them bits of advice, and I can get to see how people come to me as well for advice. And the fact that people trust me was also one of my biggest motivations to stand for
Guild.
for presidency. I work really well with so many people, and I also find that such a important skill when it comes to leadership, how well you work with others. So all this was just like
A stepping stone.
Yeah,
It
was just
like a puzzle
blocks
building blocks. Yeah.
for me to finally realize that guild presidency is something I can do, because it's nothing I ever imagined I would ever be doing. I didn't even think about standing until I got to A level. I had the conversation with the previous guild president. He encouraged me to do it, and I remember I told him that, I quote, "I'm just waiting to see who else is running, and then I'll see if I want to or if I don't, because if there's too much competition, then I'll just step down." That's what I said. And he said to me, I quote, "You shouldn't even be waiting to see who else is standing. You should announce now and make it known so that everyone else gets intimidated to even run against you." And that's something that I said acting on immediately. I took responsibility in church, and then in literally every aspect of school where they needed help, I was there. Like, I just made sure to be active and disciplined in everything I was doing, and making the most out of the trust that people gave me. So I then finalized that I did want to run for guild president, despite being really skeptical about it. I felt that, like, out of everyone, at least in my year group, I just felt like people trusted me to hold such a position, and I now also gained the trust to trust myself to hold such a position. And I do it for the people, and I love my people. I know people love me as well. So to just be the best influence I possibly can, the best leader to help out here and there whilst being myself, is something that pushed me to realize that guild presidency, it's such a great opportunity, and it's something that I should definitely pursue. And then there I actually did finalize on my decision to stand for guild president.
Wow. Wow, what a story. Tim Ferriss, I think, in his book, forgetting the Titans, he talks about the ripple effects. He says that whenever you are successful in one thing, chances are you'll be successful almost in everything. And this is what we are seeing. First, she was successful to be the best ever, right? Now, that success attracted attention to her. But even to her, she thought that, as she said, I'll paraphrase, she said, then when you achieve, it makes you hungry for more. And this is the same thing that I think Michelle Obama wrote in her famous book, Becoming. She says, behind every mountain, there is a mountain. Behind every success, there is a desire to become successful again. And this is what she was going into. She had become successful here, and she believed, and she knew, her brain, her whole being was telling her, you can also be successful here. But for her, she was waiting to see who is coming. Little did she know that the people around her, the people that believe in her, came up and told her, you know what, you don't have to wait. Get there and send a message that actually you are coming, which she did. And now she'll share with us her story after showing her interest, after showing that she was ready to contest for the guild president of Vienna. What happened? How did she do it? Did she have opposition? Definitely yes. Did she have vampires, those who tell you can make it? Definitely yes. Did she have the resources? I do not know. She'll share with us in our next episode. Please don't go away.